So when I said I've chatted, I said, okay. To an extent, I like your ideology. I like the way you talk. Like there's some characters that you have.
Peace is I like your money.
Ada, please. Let me just clap
It's
for
not
that.
only
Please.
money.
You know what?
If it's
Please.
compatibility,
Yes,
do you ask me what genotype?
I'm King Kong.
Let's talk about it. Oh, better, let's talk about it. What's eating you up? Are you
Welcome to the show. I'm Ade Folami Agumbiade. And today we'll be discussing, should men pay for women's transportation when they ask them out on dates, considering the fact that things have become more expensive. With the fuel subsidy that has been removed, transport fare in many parts of Lagos and Nigeria has tripled. So should men pay? Who should pay for transportation on dates? Okay, so with me in the studio to discuss this, we have...
I'm Akiemi Mirabel, and I'm a fashion designer and a student.
I am Ifeoluwa Oshushina. I'm a student. You can reach me on IG at Ifeoluwa_AA.
I'm Damilare Animation, a RICS analyst, and you can reach me on all social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, same ID, which is animation_senior, SNR.
I'm Melekulu Gifts. I'm a fashion designer and a student. You can reach me on Facebook at Queen Poesy.
Hello, I'm Agu Gospel. I'm a studentpreneur and a budding cybersecurity analyst.
I'm Anuze Peace Abasede. I'm an entrepreneur and a caterer. But you can reach me out on my Instagram handle, peace_hobbies.
I'm Benjamin Nana. I'm a student. You can reach me out on Facebook, Benjamin Diana.
I am Ononobi Chisom Adobe. I'm a student and I'm also a model. You can reach me out on IG at __Somi.
I'm Oshutipelajo, man. I'm IT professional. On Facebook, you can reach me out on Juwon John.
I'm Kuloko Omonigo. I'm a student and you can reach me out on IG as Omonigo_174.
I'm Ajayi Boluwatife. I'm an stylist and a gospel lyrics writer.
My name is Elesumi Abel. I'm a footballer. You can reach me on Instagram on at it's skills26.
Hi, I'm Akiemi Treasure. I'm a student and I'm also a US writer.
And he's Aso Oji. You can find him on LinkedIn. He's a software developer.
I'm your co-host. Yeah.
And the co-host of the show. So thank you very much for joining us today. So first we're reviewing an article. Why are we doing this? Why are we having this conversation today? Well, because for young men between the ages of 25 to 40, at some point in time, you probably want to have a wife. Okay? At some point in time between the age of 18 to 35, or even older, most women want to have a husband. Okay? And things are expensive in the country right now. All right? For most of us, the cost of transportation has increased dramatically because the subsidy has been removed. And this conversation is important because young men reaching out to us on the show are beginning to ask the question. And what's the question? Should they pay for a woman's transportation when they ask her out on a date? All right. In previous show, we spoke about the hookup culture. The conversation is, should they pay if they are inviting her out to hook up? Not that we're justifying that. Okay? This conversation, I have to separate it, all right, so that we don't get things mixed up. Should young men pay for young women when they ask them out on a date? Incidentally, we're not the first set of people to ask this question. Okay? There's an article that was published this year on The Pulse, March 10th. And the article, so we'll be reviewing the article together. And then after we review the article, we'll throw it open for debate. We will also ask you for your experiences too. The men in the audience would ask you for your experiences of whether you have sent money to ladies, who did not, or who showed up or did not show up for the date. We'd also ask ladies for their experiences too. Have you gone out on dates with a particular person and then you said you would never see this person again because he paid or he did not pay? So we want to hear from your experience, okay? So let's start out with the article.
So, of course, I won't be getting the full article. So I'll just give you a summary of this. So as you can see, the title is "Should Men Pay for Women's Transportation When They Ask Them Out on a Date?" But actually, this article is a bit biased. It's giving reason why men should pay. And the reason, okay, before I gave the reason, they did a study on love and money. The study was done by SurveyMonkey, and 78% of the respondents of the survey says that the male man should pay for the date, while 20% said no, that the men should not, let the men please. And 2% said that they were indifferent. So the debate, it has sparked so many online conversations whether women deserve transportation or when they go on the dates. And they gave a reason why they said women deserve it. And the first one is, they said it's romantic if you give the woman fare for the date, that women love kind gestures. Well, the third number 2 is that you invited her out. She was literally in the house thinking that Gary said she come and eat Chicken Republic. Then the third one is that it's a minor expense for you as the guy if you have the money. Then the fourth one is that even if she has the money to pay, it doesn't matter, still pay it. Then the last one, they said that she might not have the money and it might be genuinely stressful for her to cover the tea fare. So before I conclude the article, somebody, like the second person, CNBC News, right?
Yes.
So they wrote an article too.
The article is who should pay on the first day.
Who should pay on the first day. So let me just read the story. When Dizin, 26, went on his first date with a woman he met on Tinder, he assumed she would be paying for a share of dinner and drinks that night. Instead, he found himself footing the bill of $150 worth of food and wine. In Nigerian naira, that's how much?
Over 100,000.
Including what she had consumed. After that day, the guy didn't see him again. So that's just the summary of the article of the events. So you can find the article on CNBC for the second one, and the first one you can find on the Pulse Nigeria.
Okay, so that's where
Thanks
we
for
are.
listening to me.
So thank you very much for giving us a high-level summary. So let's just throw it out. You guys, you're free to jump in at this point.
Okay.
And I think the ladies should go first.
Take a deep breath before you go, please.
Okay. Ideally, and from my own past experience, a responsible gentleman ought to pay a lady's fare if he asked her on a date. Simple. I'm very sure majority of the ladies here will agree with me on that.
Well, I don't. If you would be going on a first date in quotes, with a guy, I feel you should have your transport money. That's the barest minimum. Your tea fare is the barest minimum you should have as a lady on a first date. And if you cannot afford to go to wherever you are going to on that date, you can make up excuses on why you shouldn't come. It's not fair that you tell the guy. I don't know how it sounds to ladies that, bro, sis, you are going on a first date. You've not met this person in person before. You are going on a first date and you do not have your transport money. How does that sound?
Okay, so what you're saying is you're sounding judgmental.
Yeah, all right.
All right, so let's do it this way. Let's say our reasons and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So what you said something now. You said that a responsible man should pay.
A responsible gentleman.
A responsible gentleman. I'm afraid of those two terms. Responsible. A gentleman.
Actually,
so let's say a reason.
Yeah, I don't know about your opinion, but I'm talking from experience.
Okay.
I'm not talking about I should not hold my tea fare. I don't have to ask if you are inviting me out for a date. I don't have to ask you for my fare. Imagine I school in Ijebu-Remo. Imagine you inviting me for a date to the island. Do you want me to jump buses? I'm in my house. I'm on my phone. You saw a very pretty lady. Do you want to stress me from Ijebu-Remo to the island?
Wow.
I'm just
which island specify?
Lagos Island and VI. I'm just talking about myself. I'm not being judgmental here. It's up to you. Obviously, you can't expect me to go out on a date and not have money in my card or in my bank account. And I can't go out on a date and let's say pick what I can't afford. And I would not want to go out on a date with a guy that would not sort out the bill. That's me. That's my perspective. Yeah.
Can I come in?
You can.
Okay.
Nice perspective.
We'll come back to Ada. Ada, we'll come back to you. Ada, Abi, we'll come back to you. Let's hear your perspective and then Ada will jump right back in.
From the way she's saying things, I just feel like you going on the date, you're feeling like you're doing the guy a favor.
Obviously.
But it shouldn't be so. Because it's a mutual agreement. So you are coming to Lagos Island. If you know that you cannot come, just say, okay, I can't come. Or you just make up something or lie. Instead of saying because you are coming from Ijebu to Island. You should, from Ijebu to Island, you should be able to have your own transport fare.
The floor is yours now. Just
okay,
respond.
It should be.
Okay, I can see that you are talking from your own point of view. I'm talking from my experiences and what I would like to do and what I would not do. You get? So I think opinion differs.
Okay.
And standard also differs.
Wow.
It is what I would do. Me personally. So I don't know about
I think I'm with you. So
any
I
other
think
person.
that you are doing the guy a favor.
It's not as if I'm doing a guy a favor. Even the Bible say, "If that findeth a woman finds a good thing." What are you saying?
How do you know you're a good thing?
What are you saying?
She's a good thing.
Is there a woman with a wife?
How do you know?
Is there a woman with a wife?
It's a wife. Please don't misquote the
it's
Bible.
The Bible says you will
That
find
is a wife, not a woman.
Wife, woman.
No, don't misquote the Bible.
I'm definitely not the wife.
Okay, so she says you've opened up a door. You said that you feel you're doing the guy a favor by taking him out on a date. By going out with him on a date.
No. I didn't say that. What I'm trying to say is that
Is the guy doing you a favor?
a gentleman,
A responsible gentleman.
ought to pay a fare to the date. I don't know. I've met guys like that and they did that.
So Ada, so you've met guys. You
Yes.
have had guys who have always paid for your tea fare when they take you out on dates. Are you still dating them presently?
On a date, casual date, dinner date.
Okay, so Ada, what you just said now, is it what you do?
Yes. When you invite me out for dates, I would go there on my own. Except you are telling me, you are giving me options of picking me or how you're going to sort yourself out. If you do not give me that option and I am willing to go on that date with you, trust me, I would go there. But the issue of now payments, who would sort the bills and everything, is something I would have discussed with you before I go. But the issue of transportation, if I am willing to go for that date, I would go with my transport fare.
Okay, so it seems as if we're having. What were you guys discussing before I came in? Because I'm wondering.
The difference is actually clear.
Yeah.
They are trying to not generalize it now. She's talking about a particular person that likes her and she doesn't like the person in return.
No, I wasn't the one
she
that-
likes the person and the person likes her back too as well. That's the difference. Because normally girls, when they are not into you, you are trying to do everything as a guy, they would let you run that race and they will just sit down, relax and do nothing.
Is it true? Let's ask the lady.
Actually, practically 90% of all girls would sit down, say, you know what, you want to take me out on a date, you're going to bear the food and the transport fee, you bear everything, it's on you, you are the one that wants to see me. That is how most girls think, and that's how all of them feel. Unless they're like, this guy is the type of guy I really want to date and I really want to show people that I'm dating, they will try a little bit as much as them paying tea fare. They won't pay for the food though.
The issue is, from my own point of view, when we speak of dates, there are different kinds of dates. And on my own part, if I'm already inviting for a date, and you're already discussing the modality of the date, my transport is 6,000. No, you're already sounding like the normal hookup girl that is, okay, you are coming 30K. With my transport to call. How much is my transport? Is it 10,000, 50,000? I'm going to have up to it. Now, from a general view, all the dates I've actually invited anybody to, all in quote, I pay at least the transport is compulsory for me, from my own point of view. But the issue there is, a lady should not come to a date with the mindset that it is a responsibility. That's what I'm having an issue. You
but
can't
okay,
say it's a responsibility.
so you are paying. Whether she comes with that mindset or not, you are paying.
I'm paying you.
And so you're out of this conversation. Okay, so in your own case,
Why won't you pay?
Why did I pay for our food? We agreed. There's a difference between I invited you out. We agreed to meet on a date.
That's why I will not agree with you. Because if I agreed to go on a date with you, you invited me out too.
Exactly.
You will pay for my food.
Of course.
Except I already told you beforehand that we are splitting bills. But if I did not tell you that we are splitting bills, whosoever invited the other person out would pay. If I'm the one inviting you, I will pay.
Can you pay?
I never accept that.
Please don't say what you won't do. Don't say what you won't do.
Of course.
Please don't say what you won't do.
I have a follow-up question. He has a follow. So ask them a follow-up question to that.
Okay, you said that if you are doing inviting the guy on a date. So how many of you have invited the guy on a date?
I have
actually.
And you paid?
Yes.
You paid the whole bill?
Yes. And I also had an experience in a restaurant where I went to eat at school. So I went into the restaurant getting food. Then the guy walked up to me and said, if I would eat in that restaurant, I will foot the bills. And I told him that I'm with my ATM card and I have money on my OP. I paid and go out. Why? So it's that. I told him I will buy for him if he wants to.
Is he doing OP promo? No.
That's never a
It's
date.
normal. Like, if you walk up to me and say, okay.
Aside that one that you told the guy,
Have you ever invited?
not
For that payment, for his question.
Yes, I've paid. Yes. It's just a kind gesture. Like, if you want to do it, you
like,
do
have
it.
you invited a guy on not accidental date? You just jump.
Okay, no, like accidental dates.
You guys.
Okay,
We
you've
just
not
jump.
invited.
Have you deliberately asked the guy
Deliberately
out
on
and
a
paid
date.
the bills, foot the bills for
Why would I
everything?
ask you that?
So you can't do it.
As anybody, okay, so as any of these, by show of hands, so that this is not vague. How many ladies here, be honest, you asked the guy out on a date? That I'd like to go out on a date with you. Not to your house.
No, this can be in the house.
No,
To my house and I'll cook for you. Who is footing the bill?
No, outside has to do with money.
You take the guy out to either a restaurant. You guys go. You go on an activity together. You go watch a play. Okay, you have done that.
Yes.
So what is that? What are you now?
All right. So
I invite him back to my house.
Yeah.
I won't see
That's
him.
not it. No, that's
And I'll what
You
is
buy
it?
Pepsi and Gala.
No, I'll cook.
Which are you expecting to come?
gospel. You said you invited a guy out on a date and you paid. Did you pay his transport fare?
We went together.
No, you're not.
I
answering.
feel it's a matter of communication from the like everything. You are going out on a date here. Like slide into my DM. I want to take you out on a date. First of all, if it's not the transportation is not convenient for me, I'll let you know, okay, this is what's going on. I don't think I can afford to go this distance currently. And then I'll make sure I'm going out with my own cash. I don't go empty-handed. And then if I decide to take you out on a date, I think I've done it once. I footed, is it footed or whatever? I shall pay the bills and everything.
For his transportation as well.
Yes, we went together. We were together. And I was like, okay, let's just go out on a date.
Okay. Are you still with that guy presently?
No.
No. Okay. I think we all know why.
No. Let's not go there, please. When you look at what someone has done for you, he spent more than I did in the relationship. Okay. So at least you can just.
But that wasn't the first date
gesture.
now with him now.
No, come on.
Okay, so you guys are being clever.
First date.
You guys are being clever by half. Okay. The question is this.
Okay.
Have you asked somebody out on the first date?
No.
Is there any woman here that you met a guy and feel like I want to get to know this guy better, and on the very, very first date, I would ask the guy out? Is there anybody?
Ask the guy out to do what?
To go out on a date with you now.
Okay, yes.
You've asked the guy out on the very first date.
Yes.
Okay. Did you pay the bills for that first date?
Yes.
Are you still with the guy?
No. For what?
Why?
Because you paid.
Why?
No, not because I paid. Your first date is an avenue to meet or get to know who the person is. And if it's not going to work for you guys, then that should stop. So
But I think there's a connection between a woman's ATM and her heart.
Yes.
That as she's entering the PIN code in the ATM, the love starts to dry up.
Did the stuff end after the first date?
no, it did not end after the first date.
So you paid for more dates.
No, after that, I guess that was the only time I paid for whatever it is. After the first
I have an
date,
experience with a lady.
Can she finish? Sorry.
that was the only time like I had paid for between me and the guy for the first date. That was the only time. And after that particular time, he paid for every other thing.
Every other. I like the
Every other.
every other.
Okay, we'll come back to it. So let's
I have a story. I was invited to a party at the beach and I met a lady there. I just note for the party, she came on her own and we had discussion, we spoke, and when I talked on the phone, the girl was like, Joan, I actually enjoy the conversation. I was like, thank you very much. I thought it was actually going well. She said, do you know what? Let's go on a date. She made so painful I've forgotten the name of that place. She mentioned the name of the place. I just told her, guy, get invited for a date. So when we were discussing, that guy from his experience just said, Joe, if you be trap. I was like, what if I trap? He's like, Joe, go Google that place. It's IB. And I Googled the place. One place of rice and stuff for something thousand. Like a normal meal, I just made a calculation of just like normal meal, what we take. Rice, chicken, 1 cup of this and that. I made a calculation of 80-something thousand, 90-something thousand. And so I just went back to the basic chat. Sorry. And can I have the name of the place again? She gave it to me. I said, have you been here before? She said yes. Do you go around? She said no, that guys take care. Okay. Do you know the amount? She said doesn't have much idea because she doesn't pay any money. And I sent her the link. She was like, when she was, I was like, okay, let's go. You will pay. You pay half. I pay. That was the end of the date.
Huh? You guys know who?
You go. So most times, this is where I'm coming from. Most times, when a lady is calling you on a date, she's out of 100% of our ladies, 90% is calling you like to pay. Because they feel like you are the man now. You should know you should pay.
Yeah, but you're not the man.
You are the man. But there is nowhere it has been written that the man must pay. We all preach of gender equality. Everything should be equal. Why
let me raise the stakes a bit. Okay, let me raise the stakes a bit. On an average, this is on an average week, rather on an average month. Let's be honest. Okay, how many dates do you get invited on? Please don't inflate it and don't reduce it.
Me, 0.
Who said 0?
What happened? Why are people looking? In a year, 0.
In 10 years,
0. 15 years, 0.
I'm putting you on the spot, Abby.
They can't count.
Okay, in a week, maybe 2 per week. That's 8 per month.
No. Okay, let's on an average. Okay, so on an average month, right now, is there anybody here who lives in the middle of Lagos? You live in the middle of Lagos. Okay, so on an average month, okay, every 3 months, on roughly, how many times do you get invited out on dates? No, I'm not talking about in person. It also includes people that message you on social media platforms.
I can't say for like in 3 months, but in a month, let's say 6, 7.
6, 7. Okay. Yeah. So in a month, 6, 7. How about you?
Me?
Yeah.
In a month, once.
Yes,
someone invited me and I went for it.
Not the one you said yes to. Okay, so let's how many times? Let's refine this. How many times on a monthly basis do people send you messages that they would want to take you out on a date?
I can't count.
You can't count.
I want to know you.
Okay. And then of those ones that say they want to take you out, you decide which you will go with.
Yeah. Just one.
Okay, just once a month. How about you?
I can count also.
People message you on a regular basis
Yes.
that they want to take you out.
Yes.
Okay. That also the people that are inviting you that say, come and visit me at home.
Yes.
Which one?
Also those.
You can't
have that one.
You can't strange numbers every day.
Okay, so let's add.
People DM me, people. Nobody DM me now. Nobody DM me.
I hope you have every girl daily.
Okay, so let's add it now. The people that ask you, when are you coming to see me? And the people that ask you, when am I taking you out on a date? Which one is more?
When are you coming to my house?
Of course,
In fact,
see
like,
me.
I feel that narrative have to be corrected. Because I tell guys, first date, you're inviting me to your house.
Why?
It's not ideal.
I will not come at
It's
all.
not ideal.
Don't say it's not ideal.
Why will
I will not
No,
go.
it's not
Don't say it's
safe.
not ideal.
It's not ideal because why will I go to your house on a first
And I
date?
didn't even
I
know
don't
you.
know you before from anywhere. I haven't seen you personally, and you want me to come to your house. Do
girls
you
do
think
it.
it's safe? What if anything happens and he
Let's
rapes
say
me?
we
Then
come.
we
Your
have no-
gender do it very well.
No,
From your point of
Are you
view,
sleeping over?
From
do
your-
you get on a first date? Like you're painting to me, like you're objectifying me. That's how I'm going to be. No, because why you say I should come to your house on a first date? At least you should say that, okay, can we choose somewhere at least
To meet.
somewhere safe
It's true.
to meet? A
Mass is
first
safe.
date is to like know the person. Oh, are we compatible? I want to see your ideology. I want to see.
Just first date, you can know all those things.
That I'm saying that first, yes, now you discuss what I you just to be tearing chicken and eating rice. We will talk about some major things.
Like what? Like what?
That is how
Life
you do girls.
decisions, you will
make
know.
Life decision. Just first date.
Yes.
First date.
Yes.
Life
Yes.
decision.
Then you have to talk to the person.
She's making a point. I'm with her, please.
No, on a first date,
I'm with
I
her.
have to see you. I have to know that okay, this is someone that I can date like officially. Do you get like we've done everything online, chatting and
What if you
everything.
can date him unofficially too?
Like I have to like see you and talk to you. Then after the first date, then if you like invite me over like for a second, I'm like okay. If I agree, that means I'm like okay, I can see that probably this relationship there's a tendency rather that it can go somewhere. But just on the first day, you're telling me come over to my house, sleep over. Then we are all adults, a guy and a girl in the same house, sleeping over. What's going to happen? So
Bible
please,
study.
no, I can't on the first date.
Okay,
I'm
I
sorry.
just want to clarify.
Please, are you saying what it is that you cannot do? Are you being honest now?
I can't on the first date. You're coming to come to
You
your
have
house.
never. Okay, so let me put you on the spot now. You have never slept over at a guy's house.
On the first date.
Okay, so okay. Listen to the question. Listen to the question now. I'm going to put all the women here on the spot. Okay? Raise your hands if you have never slept over at a guy's house on the first date.
Think focus in your hand.
I'll be honest.
Okay, so madam, we just busted you now.
No. I feel like sometimes like you have to test the waters. You have to actually try to know that this is what I can do this, I can't.
Sorry.
What kind of water is it? Red Sea or milk?
Sorry, are you?
River Niger.
What you are saying now, was it the outcome of that trial you did?
So I'm really talking from experience.
So I'm talking from that. Personally, the guy's house is a big no for me.
Personally,
So
for
it's,
me,
it's a big no for you now.
Yes.
Okay, so let's
personally, for me, whenever I'm going to meet any guy, it must be in a public space. Like where maybe like Ikotu market now. You know that there's the ShopRite, there's this where people are much.
Yes.
See, guys.
Another thing guys does now, if they are not telling you to meet them in their house, they'll tell you to they've booked a hotel room.
Yeah, like secluded place.
And in my head, I'm like,
That's because people like it.
I don't understand. This is a place.
guys have even taken it a step higher. Okay, they will tell you that, oh, you're claiming class here. Okay, don't come to my house. Come to the restaurant. I booked a room already. And I'm like, what's the difference?
okay, so that's your response to them. Is that always your response to them?
Or after something that became your
No, I cannot. Hotel room, first date. What happened?
Okay, so I won't ask you to raise your hands if you have gone to a hotel room first date.
No,
I'll spare
okay.
you guys that.
No, I want
Let's-
to add to something.
Okay.
first date, go to the man's house or the hotel room might be after the first date. Like,
That's what I'm going to.
yes, it is
Majority of-
not on the like. It is not like I'm meeting
first-
you
That's
in
it.
your house. Okay, I probably had met you in the cinema or somewhere, and I want to correct the notion of a date always being in a restaurant. That's not always true. You can go on book dates. You can go on movie dates. You can go on picnics.
How many of you can go on book dates?
I went on book date on Saturday. So
Sorry, no, I'm practically lost now. Okay, you guys said in the first place that going to the guy's house is not ideal. Going to the guy's house is not safe. That you guys need an open place where people are so that you guys can meet. And the guy is choosing a very nice 4-star or 5-star hotel that has restaurant, that has practically everything.
There we go.
There we go.
I'll eat and go back to my house.
I'm coming now, Haba. Now you are saying hotels, house, that there's no difference. I don't understand. Is it that hotel is not safe enough? Hotel doesn't have people around it. Hotel doesn't have a restaurant where you guys can chill and eat and dine. Or what's now the difference between that
hotel has a
house
cage.
and that hotel?
So I think the hotel. I was very specific when I said
You book an hotel room for you to use an hotel, obviously.
Can you allow her to respond?
I was very specific when I said a hotel. I said the hotel room. Why are you booking a hotel room? If I'm going to Sheraton, there are places in Sheraton to eat. Why not booking the restaurant? If I'm going to Oriental Hotel, why not booking the restaurant? Why does it have to be the room?
Can I give you an instance?
Okay, so
Can I give you an instance?
Mr. Adari, please. I understand you're playing the devil's advocate, but you're going to derail us. When you book a hotel room, you know why you book it. Okay, Mr. Adari.
The guy is an introvert and he's
Wait, okay. Sorry, I have a question to you now. If someone booked a hotel room, okay, and invited
my girlfriend,
your mom, and she told you she's going to go and meet her in a hotel room, what will come to your mind?
I'll ask the gender.
Says the guy.
Wrong.
Okay, so you have your answer. Let's not. I don't want us to derail. We'll come back to this conversation. We'll talk about this. Okay. The next show we're talking about long distance relationships. We may touch on some of these issues, but we're talking about payments. Okay. The show, this particular part of the show, is focused on surviving your 20s. And how do you survive your 20s? Okay. So far, the ladies here have clarified that they will not go to visit a man in his house on the very, very first date. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have that.
Afterwards,
We disagree. From what we have seen, we disagree.
That's what
I wanted to say something.
That's
Then I
what
will come to that story.
That's what you have told us. I'll take what you have said so far now. Okay, this is the challenge. On the very, very first date, okay, you mentioned that you get, and that's why I asked the question: the number of people, how many people ask you out on a monthly basis, including come and see me at home?
That's minus comments.
If you had come and see me, how many people ask? If you had everything, just give us a number.
52.
Listen. Let me tell you the number. Let me tell you the question I'm asking. I'm not ask. For example, you can have 100 guys who are asking you once, who asks you once a month, come and see me. That means 100 people. You can have one guy who is asking you every day. When I come to see, that's 100 asks. I'm not asking about the total number of asks. I'm asking the total number of people. Different people, different faces. Just give us a number.
I can't. I will. I can't.
Can't count.
I can't count.
Or you have lost count.
New faces every day.
No, not the faces every day, but
On average, give a range. Probably maybe between 50 to 100, 25
50K.
in a month. Just give a quick answer. If you don't think about it, do you have an answer for us?
No.
On a monthly basis, how many people, if you sum up all your messages, you don't have, who has an answer?
Okay, I think we just concluded exams here. Many people used, let me take you out to clear exam stress before you start your exam. For me, that was many people's quote. And if I'm going to count the number of people that gave me within that week, I think I went on 2 dates that week. And there were maybe 4 others I didn't go for. that week
In a week.
before exam.
So that's like 6.
That's like 6 per week. No, is that number of people who want to take you out on dates? 6 in a week.
For that week.
For that week. So let's say roughly in a month you have like 24. No, if you said yes, okay, let me rephrase the question. I'm trying to get somewhere, please, and I want your answers. If you say yes to everybody who asks you to come and see them or who asks you out on a date, how many people would you have had to say yes to in a month? In your own case.
For that week, it would have been 6 different people.
In a month.
There are some months that will go by. They will not be you.
Yeah.
Are you telling me? Are you
there's no
telling me
months that will go by
a
that you will
month,
not see.
a month will go by. Listen, you're not being honest with us now.
I know what will price the market for a month.
Okay. Are you saying that for 1 month, as you are right now, for 1 month, not one person will message you? Maybe you go out on the road, you meet someone, person asks for your number, you get back home. Not one person will message you and say, "What's up? We should meet up sometime." Is there anybody? Just give me a random number. Gospel, you are quiet now. Just give us a range. Okay, give us a range. 10 people in a month or 20. Just give me a range.
About 20 people.
In your own case, 20.
Yes.
What about your case?
20 also.
Okay.
I don't keep those stuff to air.
That's what I said. I just
I don't prioritize it.
We know we're not. I know that you are a very, very serious somebody. I'm just saying on average.
Yeah, on average, give a number.
If a month, okay, let's zoom right now. As you are now, if a month goes by in which you go around, you come to Lagos, you move around and all that, and throughout that month, not one person sends you a WhatsApp message that let's meet up. Not one person calls you that, what are you doing? I'd like to meet you. You will not notice it. Would you notice it?
It's not possible.
So you're saying it's not possible?
Yes.
So that's what we're asking. I need a number because there's a point I'm trying to make. I don't want to drag it on for this long. She said 20. Does 20 reflect for you too? More
I think
or less? Above 20?
Let's say 25.
Okay, so if we say 20, so that means that in a monthly basis, you're going to have 20 guys who are inviting you out on dates. You obviously are not going to date all the 20.
No.
Okay? Now, those are 20 people who are going to invite you out on dates, pay for your transportation, and pay for your food.
Some will say, when are you going to? Most of those them like, oh, can I come over?
Okay.
There are guys that say, oh, can I come over to your place? And most times I allow guy come over to my side. I cook, I get to meet you.
Okay, so you don't take them out, you cook for them.
Yes, the top was
Can I ask you, is not the first date that the guy comes over to your place?
Yes, there are guys that come.
Wow.
For the first date, but you guys are against girls going to a guy's house for
Am I going to?
Can she overpower you?
I can't now.
Wow.
Oh, she can't.
Yes, that's my
Just
point.
another angle right there.
But the issue is that anything I'm not.
So you guys are just left one. You just give them one powerful move now.
No.
Why can't you say you can't overpower me when you come to my house for the first time?
You can put something in my
have
drink.
gone now.
You can put something in my drink and just.
Hey, young man.
It's not the first time it's happening. It's just rare.
Why would I put something in your drink?
That's what I'm saying. Why would you?
Put something in your drink.
Yeah, exactly.
The ratio of a guy putting something in your
Which, according to which source, which statistics bring it now?
Except you want to play now. Except you want to play dumb to it. We know.
Play dumb.
Okay, from my own point of view, sir.
So let's listen.
The issue is
to bring the conversation. Okay, I even thought that what you were going to say was that it would be easier for men to say, you know what, I want to come and visit you,
yes,
than for the guy to say, come and visit me.
Women, we have it.
It will be cheaper for you to go now.
We rarely go visit a lady in a house because one, it's a very wrong move for us. We feel like we are giving the girl all the cards.
Who are yours?
We the guys.
The guys.
You they go get a house.
Apart from that,
We don't like visiting ladies. We just do it for them to feel comfortable around us at first. Even if we are trying to meet her in a public environment.
It's not every guy that invites you to his house that wants to sleep with you on the first date. Yes, no.
Leave that.
I'm just saying. Okay, let me say from my own perspective now.
Yeah,
if I'm going to
both
invite you,
choices
if I'm going to invite you to my place, I wouldn't make a move of having to. Yeah, it's me. I don't know about it.
But you're forgetting you came on this podcast before.
No, wait. It's me.
You have forgotten that story.
I can't remember any story. So that's what I'm saying.
To buttress his point here, I went on a date, Mario took there. I went for a buffet and he booked a room, obviously. After eating and everything, we went to the room and I took my bed, he took his bed. And there's always a space in the middle.
Yes.
I slept there.
You slept there.
And he slept there. In the morning, we were like, there are guys like that.
They are like that. There are guys like
I mean just one. Out of one. Just one. No.
This is girls to me. Girls. A girl on the first date. Sorry. A girl on the first date.
This is your Mario to tell story. I want to follow it up.
I don't follow it up. I don't know. It's actually possible.
Honestly, I was very surprised.
You're very surprised.
Honestly speaking, it didn't.
Did you? Sorry, Miriam. Did you go to see him after again?
It's not Miriam.
Oh, sorry.
Treasure.
Did you go to see him after again?
Yes.
And the guy did the same thing.
No, we went in an open space.
Okay.
Are you dating the guy now?
No.
Okay.
I didn't date him and I didn't have anything to do with him. And we went on more several dates.
So I think that the guy didn't want anything from you.
But I don't know. He didn't show it.
See, this is it, sir.
Probably he was playing smart or trying to win me over.
And he lost.
Or something like that.
And he lost.
Believe the guy
Yes.
for not trying to touch
The issue is, for me, from my own point of view, when a lady is coming out for the first date with you, immediately inviting her and she's coming, she's already having this 50% mindset that this guy, it can, I'm talking generally, from what I've seen, it can lead to this, and it will not lead to this. Now, what they are trying to do for the first date, that they don't want to come to your house, what do they say? Is that they want to come and see what they want to go in for. If they say, I want this guy to get money, or I want this guy to fire, they see the car you're coming with, and the guy just say, come to this Rolls Royce 2023. Let me drive you to my let me drive you to my house.
You go a bit.
A lot of girls will go, but when they see the guy, this guy not getting it, see the way they talk, I can't go to. So the mindset of coming, let me see you first. It's not as if they cannot follow you home that day. They want to see what they want to go home with first before they go to the house.
All right, so how many people agree with him?
I'm not. I don't agree with that.
Please raise up your hands.
No, I don't.
Please raise up your hands if you don't agree with him.
Seriously.
I don't agree with that. Yeah.
I don't.
Okay, so if you don't agree with him, then the question now, you guys have put yourself in. You're telling me that you can go to a guy's house on a second date. That's what you're saying. This is not the conversation we started having.
I can go to the second date.
On second date. So the first date. So the first date. So what are the criteria?
Like I have to know its kind of personality. I have to know. Like I do not like. How will I put it?
Leave personality.
I have to.
We both know that your personality.
I have to know if someone that I like, if we are compatible.
How?
How would you know that?
Sorry.
We are doing the conversations. We talk.
Sorry.
If you are compatible with the first date, you follow him home now.
I need to throw a question to
Allow her talk now.
I need to throw a question to you. How do you know you are compatible on the first date?
I have to know. Before I see you on the first date, we've been chatting, we've been talking, and I'm told that I don't like going out personally. So for me to carry myself from the room and those kind of things, like for me to like pick up myself, even my roommates this morning were forcing me that please, I don't like going out. So now it's that I've chatted, I was like, okay. To an extent, I like your ideology, I like the way you talk, like there's some characters that you have.
Pieces, I like your money.
Ada, please, let me just clap for that. You know what?
If it's compatibility, do you ask me what genotype?
I'm Kikong.
So if it's compatibility, you are compatible to anybody.
No.
What are you going to assess? Okay, leave compatibility. What else are you going to assess? You know, assess if he's tall, if he tried to the date or he entered into the date.
Actually,
if he's late.
let's talk. Okay. Actually, there's some guys that have money. They don't want to talk.
Yes.
They don't know how to dress.
Yes.
They have some have mouth odors, body odors. They don't know how to. Some have pride.
Yeah.
Some can speak Yoruba throughout the date. Some are not fluent. Again, so it's not always about that first date. We just
like no, like I've actually engaged a guy like funny how like when we were talking and I said, I like this guy, he's chilled, he's caring and all that.
I think
Until he said something when they said, that I cannot marry a woman that is not motherly. I cannot be making fresh meals for me every day.
Okay.
I don't like refrigerated food. And I'm like, okay. I rephrased my step. Because I know it's not that going to be cooking every day. Who has that strength when there's refrigerated food? Like, there's no,
I have a question.
There's some conversation that you're going to hear.
That particular guy, was that guy wealthy enough?
He was wealthy.
Okay, because this is it now.
At home as housewife.
Housewife.
I'll be paying you what you'll be earning.
I don't want that.
You can use this argument, but until that guy had offered to marry you and you said no.
That's what you say.
He didn't actually offer to marry me.
And so you couldn't have retraced your step because he didn't offer to marry you.
He didn't offer to marry me, but that kind of person, say that kind of, like, I don't know how people do the relationship thing, but I'm a solo person. Like, if it's me and this person, I'll be like, I'm going to give it my all in the relationship.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And when I found out that he has this demeaning attitude towards women, like, he doesn't. It's not that when we're talking, he doesn't want to even like hear my opinion or anything. Like anything you say, you are a woman, please. You get that kind of thing.
And you feel you should be heard.
Yes, and I was like, even with the money and everything, I'll be depressed.
I would listen. Let me
I don't want
let
this.
me address what you just said now. Okay, because you just told us something about this guy. You said the guy has a lot of money.
Yeah.
He told us that he has this attitude in which is like a woman.
You stay in your place.
You stay in your lane and all that.
Yes.
I will tell you that most men, most men, I'm not saying all men, but generally most men who have attained a high measure of success in their careers, they didn't get there by being subservient and the rest. A lot of times they had to fight their way to get there. And so if you are dealing with such a man, that's the kind of vibe you most likely will get. You understand me? If you talk to people who have political power, who every single day they tell this person go and do this, and the person goes to do this person come. If you are dealing with such people also, and you come and tell they are bossy, exactly. And that particular kind of man, if he has enough money to marry any kind of woman on earth,
like I need to put that sometimes
he will find a woman that will cook food for
he
him.
will, because some people are like money,
So are you
money.
saying that?
If you remove money from the equation, some guys actually have nothing else to offer.
What does guys have to offer in the first place? If you remove sex from equations from girls too, a lot of girls don't have anything to offer.
Don't go to this topic.
Don't even say that. Don't even wait.
Yes, now.
Let's bring the conversation back. Let's bring the conversation back. Okay.
Don't go there.
I'm sorry that I would. I'm sorry. We're talking about transportation. What you just said now, you don't see the irony in it. We're talking about going on dates. And then most of the women here say that the man has to pay.
This kind of the person I was telling you about that was bossy and all. He will pay for it. You don't even need to ask. He will just tell, okay, take this for your tea, come over. You get that kind of. So some men are like that you don't need to even ask.
So if you are asking men to pay for dates, then you should also expect that whichever kind of man who's going to pay for dates, all right, will tend to be the kind of person that will give you instructions.
Sorry, that was what I said. A responsible
gentleman.
You get, and I didn't say have to pay. I said ought to pay. I don't have to ask you for my tea.
You saying that
me personally,
he ought to pay means if he doesn't pay, you'll be angry at him.
Why would I be angry if he doesn't pay? My no is my no.
It's like just saying that he has to pay. Just say he has to pay.
You are not getting the English,
A question should be, if you go out with him and he doesn't pay, will you go out with him again?
He's not a responsible gentleman.
He ought to pay for my
assuming he
fare.
doesn't pay, will you go again?
Will you go again?
If he doesn't pay, I will not go. And if I want to go, I will go.
No, I don't think I will agree with you here. Because when we started the show, you said you would never go for a date where the guy does not pay.
So if the guy does not pay,
let me bail her out.
Please.
I feel like everything is like based on communication
and likeness.
First of all, like
he communicated with you to cook. Now you said no.
I will say, listen, peace.
Voila.
Just hold your peace.
Okay. And
he said something. I think
Yeah.
that wraps up. That summarizes the conversation. We're going to phase out this conversation gradually. I just wanted us to have this conversation because to complete what you had started, and so that we'll get to I'll get to figure out who would engage in the conversation. That's the whole goal of. He said something. He said that if a lady likes the guy,
Yes.
that's what he said. Okay, if you meet a guy that you like so much,
you won't stress him,
and that guy tells you that I'm going on a date, I don't have transport fare for you. Will you find your way there to come and see me?
Yeah.
You ladies will go.
Yeah, I will.
Some of you. No. Let me.
I'm sorry.
This, I will tell you this. If you find a guy that you know you liked, some of you ladies will go out of your way to cook food and take food to the guy's house.
No, it is I said I'm done. If you like a guy, you do it.
You do it. There's something. This thing that if you see someone,
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. Even you see all these things, even all these ladies here that you have said that a guy calls you and asks you. I'm on the fence whether you go to the guy's house or not. But if you truly like a guy, I'm not saying that you love him more. I mean that you find the person romantically attractive. If the guy asks you to come, all of you that you are shouting that you will not
flash,
you
go,
will go.
flash.
It's something which we have seen.
Flash.
Okay, so let's just
Sexually attracted to the person.
Sexually attracted.
Not just sexually attracted. Not just sexually attracted.
Wow.
If you like a guy, we are ladies, let's not lie to ourselves.
You guys are
we
emotional.
will go out of our way.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
will offers you Gary, you will take it, but I will not cook. I'm sorry.
You never like to.
You buy the food.
Yes, I will buy food.
There's this particular friend of mine. She practically has guys that are dying over her. This girl has bunda, like huge one, and I'm a friend. And I don't even dare to go close to her because I see the way she treats guys in her life. And the funny part is, this particular girl has a particular guy she's even buying clothes for. That's a strange thing. Like, she comes to me, she gists with me about 4 or 5 guys. She even gists with me about some other married guys that comes to her. And I feel like, okay, you know what? This guy is good, this guy is wealthy enough, this guy paid for my ticket, but he's very rude. This guy is that. And I'm like, why do you go in the first place? He's like, he wants to see whether you have anything he can offer.
Imagine.
And that's the real truth. Most girls will always go to a guy to see what they can offer. And immediately the guy is not paying this and that for them.
That's why I
they feel like the guy is not even bear their stress. And it's not even good for
good to see. You now see.
Now imagine that other men that has been spending for her. They practically build up her room from scratch, and she has a cool room in her school lounge, and she has gas, she has everything, and it's somebody else that is paying. There's this particular man, he has a kid and wife over abroad, like he lives in Canada, so he comes here once in a while. So due to connection, she gets to meet the guy, and the guy is now taking care of her. Now, this man
and she to take care of the guy.
Definitely
take care of the guy.
Definitely.
It's a win-win
So
situation.
she has this particular boyfriend though.
That not offering her anything.
And this same girl, after she has collected and she has designed her whole place and everything, the girl will still even ask her for money. And the girl will still give the guy money. Cook. The guy will come to her school, cook for the guy, make sure the guy is well for him.
Inside life.
That's what we're calling love.
No, I know.
You don't know what the guy is offering.
This guy just left school. And the only thing I hear in her whenever she's talking about the guy, this guy has prospect of becoming a very good and huge person in the future. And that's the only thing he's staying with the guy for. Oh. And while the other married men, she's just with them for the bills. And I feel like if girls come to a date, the first thing they do is they assess the particular person. Do you have the money I'm looking for? Not that they are coming because they like you, they want to come and meet you, they want to come and see if you are compact what? You are coming to date with someone like David who has fame and money. You know is he not compatible? Is the video not compatible for everybody here? You are a girl, it's the truth.
It's part of it, but that's not all.
But you
that is the basic.
That's not all. You will
and you definitely want to go.
I'm going to close out this part. I'm going to close out this part of the conversation. I'm sorry to bring it to an abrupt end. Okay? But so with the summary of the conversation is this, is that most women will not ask men out on first dates. That's the summary. And because of that, they will now say that the person who asked her should pay for the date. And since most women do not ask out on first date, the summary is that most guys have to pay for the first date.
Basically.
We'll give a bit of advice to young men who watch this. And the advice I would give young men who watch this is that you have to be sure that the girl that you are with, she really likes you, so that you don't end up being a foodie cop. Right? You're the person who people go out on dates with just to eat, and that's it. So,
And now we know the girl likes you. Any advice?
And again, advice too for the young ladies too.
Those are the traits you definitely get to know.
Advice
This
for
guy
young
likes me,
ladies,
this girl likes me. She's willing to come out from her own pocket to support
Because
you.
something that this money is nothing to them. It's nothing.
I will give advice. You want advice for young ladies?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll give advice to young ladies. All right. And my advice to young ladies is if you watch the show, you can summarize it. Okay, and the advice usually goes like, so this is the advice. Okay, women, you have a period of like reproductive hotness. Okay, that's a time in which you walk down the street and everybody's like, people are asking for your phone number. They want to meet you. They want you to come and visit them. It's a period in time. All right, and every year, a new girl turns 18. Okay, so my advice is that women should get the best deal they can. Okay, if you have several people who are asking you out on dates, look at the guy and you assess the guy's ability to support a family. Okay, because I believe that regardless of whatever love you have for people,
Money
in the long
is
run, in the long run, you need to be able to support a family because
Good.
people's beauty will fade and you'll be left with responsibilities.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the decision you make on whether the person is a good person, whether the person is a wise person, kind, whether the person matches with your faith, whether you're going to pray about it, that is up to you. But there's a primary requirement. If you're going to end up with a guy, it's important that such a man should support a family. That's my summary. Because otherwise, what's going to end up happening is you guys will have children. If you can't foot the bills, you start disturbing everybody else.
You'll be claiming
uncles,
your uncle is wicked.
Yeah, wicked and all that. So that is my own advice. Okay. As such, I would also advise young men that do not waste your money, okay, feeding people who are not going to take you serious. And that's why part of the reason why I asked that question. There are 20, if the average woman gets 20 people asking her out on a monthly basis when she's hot, that means that in a year she can go to 240. Which means that a girl who is probably between the age of 21 to 24 or so can actually eat for free every day, just going out on dates.
For 5
Okay,
years.
and they will call those eating for free first dates that you as the guy have to pay for. Okay, and times are hard. Subsidy has been removed. Transportation is more expensive, and so do not. I would advise young men not to waste their time trying to impress people who do not want to be impressed. There's the flip side of it also. If you are sure and you are certain that you really want to be with somebody, you also have to put effort into your appearance and into getting to know the person. But it's not, this stuff is not, the science of attraction. It's not magic. It's not mathematics. People tend to like people for weird reasons. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they will be good long-term partners.
Yeah.
You get to. So that's if you have to summarize the conversation, that's the advice I would give.
And there's no manual to life.
There's no manual.
You actually have a couple of guidelines that you can follow. So you judge decisions by the long-term impact of decisions. So if you're with someone, if you're dating someone presently, and you want to know whether this is going to be a good decision in the long run, all right. One of the first pointers to look at is you look at the family around the person, and that's why some people will tell you that you should go and look at the father and the mom, because if people's family and support system affects them in a sense. So if people are born into families in which they come from like broken families, you need to realize that there probably will be somebody in that person's life who, when things get hard, the person will tell him or her to leave or chase her out of the house. And so you have to factor that in long term.
But what if at that point, when things happen, people might advise you can decide to take it or not.
People
You get-
advise
like he said, like someone that comes from a broken home, if I'm not mistaken, someone that comes from a broken home, if something goes out and people from family can say, oh, call it a quit, right? And I'm saying that what if the person does not heed to the advice and still stick to his or her partner?
And that's the reason, if that's the reason why if you're having those conversations, it's important. People will tell you said something about communication. Okay. It's very, very important for you, okay, to clarify exactly what your expectations are. But that is under the assumption that the person you are with is being honest with you.
That's the fear.
Okay? So and one of the ways you can know if people are being honest with you is you go back and you look at their history, their past history, to see how they relate with other people. If you have somebody who everybody in his life, he tells lies to them, and you think he's going to be honest with you, or she's going to be honest with you, you're deceiving yourself. So that's why this idea of you are with somebody, the person is telling you to lie to his parents or something, or lie to her parents. Just realize the point in time will come in which the person will be lying to you.
I can relate.
Yeah.
Some guys won't say that. Oh, let your friend they are going to school.
Why is it guy? Why is now some girls?
Yes, I'm not saying that girls don't lie. But
That's what guys do.
We've had various versions.
Come over to his house and he told me, I told that I'm at home. I can't leave my father's house for anywhere.
You don't like the guy. I don't like the guy. If you like the guy,
like the guy. You are the one that will
find you are the one that will put the story.
Mommy, I'm going to school.
Yes,
I'm going to get you for 2 weeks.
Excuse me.
Some of us have bond with our friends. We don't like
Excuse me.
them. We tell them the truth.
I want to ask a question. Concerning what you said about, I know you want to bring the particular show to a close, but concerning what you said about trying to choose, as regards the advice to the ladies, trying to choose a guy where you believe can provide the basic needs. But we've had instances of where maybe when they were together, before they got married, the guy was struggling a lot, and when they got married, everything kind of changed. And so my question is, if you are going to go by that, are all the ladies out there, are they going to stick by that your advice of saying they should go with a guy that's going to provide the basic needs? Meanwhile, there are still other guys out there that their leg and all that
they have the potential.
They have the potential. It's not as if right now they can stand on their 2 feet. So that's my question. Like,
can I respond? Can I give you a response to this question?
I was more like you even already pointed it out. Like the family, the support system is supposed to show if this guy is going to be able to take care of you. You would see it already, even if he doesn't have the money yet. The support system is immediate family, even not immediate, extended. You see the way he's living his life. You see the way those people are to him. You even be sure that this person would definitely become somebody, if not great.
Okay, this is what I'm coming in.
But yeah,
from now.
What I want to say, 100% sure of everything.
What I want to say now is that everything still boils down to the girl still observing the kind of person that guy is, not just because maybe he can provide the basic needs or not.
But we've seen.
Let me respond to what you're saying. Okay, you are trying to. What you are doing is this: you want a magic crystal ball. So that what you're asking is that give me a rule or something that if I stay in, I can predict the future of people. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you a couple of guidelines. Okay, and I need you to just pay attention to some of the things I would say. These are guidelines that you can apply for most things. When people want to get a job, a lot of times they will require that this person probably has completed university or has completed a polytechnic or teacher's college or whatever. There's a reason for that. Because they wonder, has this person been in a structured environment? Has this person been able to complete things? Okay? You don't want people that will give up halfway. Another example, when you want to enter into university or higher institution, they require that you have a certificate. They require that you write an entrance exam. Why? They want to be sure that you have knowledge on which they can build on. Because if they don't have that, people may enter into university and they start struggling. So, for example, you want to teach somebody give me an advanced topic in mathematics, please.
Calculus.
Stochastic equation.
Calculus.
Stochastic process, please. Did you get
Partial
mathematics?
differential.
Okay, Lebesgue. Okay, so you want to teach someone Lebesgue measures. All right? And then the person cannot count. You need to screen the person. It doesn't mean that person will not succeed in his life, but it just means that particular person is going to have difficulty because the boundaries the obstacle he has to surmount, all right, on his pathway to bagging a degree in mathematics are so much. And so you just want you want to have people in mathematics, studying mathematics, who when they come in and you ask them, you tell them, you are explaining to them, they won't ask you, sir, please, why is 2 times 2 4? You understand me? So it can be frustrating. So it's the same way when you're dealing with people. So let's bring it down right now. If I have a sister who wants to get married, for instance, if I have a sister who wants to get married right now, and she brings a young man to me and says that she wants to marry this guy, okay? I know that being a man For you being a man, you just need to take care of yourself. But for you to be your husband, 9 months down the line, you're going to become a father. It means that you are going to have responsibilities for the child, particularly also for your wife, because by the time the woman gets pregnant, if she's pregnant and she needs to be on bed rest in the hospital, let's say for like 3 to 6 months, you want to be certain that this man, okay, can work and support a family while she's on hospital admission. I'm talking about not my sister, I'm talking about the family. Do you understand me? So if I'm talking to the young man, one of the things I probably will want to find out is how do you spend your money? Okay, so how do you spend your money? Now, if I'm dealing with that particular person,
will he be honest with you?
You don't necessarily have to be honest with me. I can request for your bank account statement. It doesn't matter how honest you are. If I ask for your bank account statement, you can tell me you will not give me your bank account statement. And then I can tell my sister that I think it's important, if you're going to join accounts with people, that you have an idea of what their banking, of what their financial information looks like. Because that is a yardstick in which you can use to assess how the person, the kind of cash flow the person, because marriage, if you are going to get married to people, and in the middle of marriage is bukata.
Yeah.
You know what bukata is?
Problems.
No, bukata is
responsibilities upon responsibility.
You're going to have expenses. You get? So, do you understand? So if a woman is here, I will not fault them for wanting to go on dates with a guy who can pay for their transport. Okay? But it also has to be for a reason. And that probably weed out a lot of people, because if you say I'll pay for your transport, if the guy says that which kind of transport, then it might be a good idea not to. But you see, the problem I have is some ladies may go on dates not because they're interested in the guy, but because they just want to be going around and they need somebody who can foot the bills of moving around.
Very important.
Do you get me? So, and you're going to have a lot of dishonesty in the dating pool. There's lots of people who are peeing in the dating pool. All right. You can't dodge it. Sometimes the problem in the dating pool is even you yourself that you're asking. So in the case of guys, for guys, if a guy has to assess probably whether a girl is worth marrying, okay, I would advise men to marry ladies who are much younger. Okay, because particularly if you want to have children, okay, we know that 90% of a woman's eggs, all right, usually are gone by the age of 30. We know that. Okay, so it's easier for a woman. It doesn't mean that women above 30 cannot have children, but it's just that it's easier for women to have children at the other side of 30 than over. It's just easier. Do you understand? So I would advise men to marry much younger ladies. If you're going to marry a much younger lady, all right, automatically you would want to have an idea of what exactly are her habits, because people very rarely change much. On a previous podcast, somebody came in and was saying that I think you were on that show. Person was saying that they should date, that they can date a girl who has had history of working in the sexual industry. Okay, there was somebody who was making a case that
with prayer and church and everything, that the
girl that the girl can change.
This is not a Nigerian movie.
Now, even if the girl has said she wants to change that, she can actually change.
For that people that work in sex industry, they can't get married anymore.
All right, so that was the conversation that people who work in sexual industry can do. And my response to her is the fact that human beings, we are creatures of habits. Okay, so if you are dating a guy, for example, peace, let's assume you meet a man who every single girl he has been dating ever since he started work. Imagine you're with a girl, the guy is very wealthy, and every single girl he has dated, they have sex on the first date. Okay, he throws money at the girls, and in a week he probably is sleeping with like 6 girls. I have lived in the same house with a guy who the guy every weekend he slept with 4 girls. One girl will come back with him on Friday. She leaves on Friday morning. By Saturday, she leaves on Saturday morning. By Saturday, between 12 to 2, another girl is landing.
That's your pressure.
The girl will leave. The girl probably will be with him probably till evening or so. Okay? She will leave. At that night, another girl will arrive. That girl will sleep over with him. They'll go to church together the next day.
Wow.
And then when that one leaves, another guy is dropping on Sunday.
I don't know, well, I said that I said earlier that there's no law to things. But even though I'm not saying that it works for everybody, but people outgrow things. I had an uncle that during his prime, he was this ras guy, he's a bad guy. In fact, sorry, I don't speak Yoruba. Like almost all the girls in the neighborhood,
You slept with them.
he's very ras. Do you get? If he tell you that, if he tell you that he's going to get down with this girl,
He will.
do anything to get down.
Okay, so
with her.
after he
But
got
as in-
married,
after he got married,
he
it's not
stopped it.
immediately after he got married. When he clocked like when he was in his 40s, it's not that one son that told my dad that what I'm doing, I'm tired of it. That I'm just spending like I feel at a point
Okay, but
some people are
Peace, I'm asking there's a question I'm asking you, and this is it. He got married, didn't he?
Yes.
And his wife knew that he was sleeping around.
Yes.
Okay, so his wife knew what she was getting into, and she was willing to tolerate a guy who was sleeping around.
It's not as if she was like many days she threatened him that I'm done. Do you get?
But she knew.
But it's not as if it's not as if she endured it for like it was after. It's not after because he married late. Because people from the east, sorry, no, I don't generalize, but guys from the east is when they are 40, they feel like they want to have all the money and resources I need to raise a family. So he married late. Do you get? But I think after 2 to 3 years after his marriage, he just woke up one day that what I'm doing, I'm wasting my time. Do you get? Though I don't follow him, I don't know what he's doing, but with the trait I knew he had before. Do you get? Because when I pass a child, when he picks me from school, it's with one girl. So he has reduced. He's not doing it anymore.
Peace, I'll tell you this.
People
What
change.
you're making an argument, and your argument is, I like the argument you're making, and we're not castigating people. He asked me a question. His question is, how do you assess? Okay, he's asking, how do you assess? Right, and my response to you with regards to your uncle is this: you told me that your uncle was
ras guy,
was womanizing. He had lots of girls around him. And after I got married, 3 years after I got married, he stopped it. And then he has changed a leaf. I am saying that the person your uncle got married to, that person knew. But the thing is this, that your uncle's friend, your uncle's wife took a risk. The risk he took is that the guy was going to change in future. Because it's possible that the guy probably could womanize until his 60s and 70s and have lots of kids outside the family.
Yeah.
And if that happened, then that means that she must be ready to deal with the fact that she must be ready to deal with the fact that if the uncle has property or other things, there will be other people that will be claims to it.
Yes.
If she's willing to abide with that kind of lifestyle, she's fine. But if that your uncle's wife was my sister, I would tell her that you can love this guy, but you must be ready to deal with this consequence. Do you understand me? So if you have to observe the habits of people that you are going to go on long journeys with.
And to me, I feel like there's no perfect person anywhere.
That's the
You just have to like choose that. This is what I can do.
Peace. Listen, in this dating, what you're doing right now is you're trying to argue against a preference that does not benefit women folk. Okay, that's what you're trying to do. As you are right now, I asked you a question. How many guys reach out to you on a monthly basis? You said people said roughly about 20. Of those 20 guys, you cannot marry 20 guys.
No.
So you are going to make a decision to weed those guys out on the basis of something. All right? If you had to weed 20 guys, okay, so let me ask you this now. You have 20 guys who want to marry you, 20 suitors right now, and you have to make a decision to weed them out. What will be one yardstick you use? Let's first use the first yardstick.
Most important yardstick.
First and foremost, I'm not interested in marriage.
No,
I don't
know. Like I don't have any yardstick.
Okay, so Treasure, give me.
I'll go for financial stability.
So Treasure has told us financial stability. So if you have 20 guys, the first question is, which of these 20 guys is able to support a family? That probably may knock out like 10 or 8 or 7
or 18.
Job. That's a legit.
So now, if of those 10 that remain, now she may not decide, okay, which of this person has the most stable of incomes? She's not being a gold digger. She's being practical because she knows
people
that
need to hear that.
Logic.
Because if she gets married and she has children, so now let's imagine now that you have a brother who is toasting Treasure, but your brother, you guys will say God forbid, but your brother, all right, when he was in school, he didn't particularly pay attention, dropped out of school, and then let's assume that because he dropped out of school, they asked him to go and learn a trade. The guy learned the trade. It was a 7-year trade. He learned 2 years. He abandoned the trade. 2 years in, he abandoned. Then you got a job for him. Then the guy what? The guy got fired from the job after 1 year. Let's assume you have a brother like that. But the guy is good with women. He's not coming to toast Treasure. He's not telling Treasure that she should not care about that history. That he will change.
You should love her for who he
You
is.
should love him for who he is.
Who is he?
Would you advise Treasure? He's your brother. Would you advise Treasure?
Who are you?
Because Treasure is looking for one thing. Treasure is looking for stability. If your brother can't afford financial stability, he will drop out of the selection pool.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's come down to women now. Okay? If a guy wants to get married and he's going to have responsibilities, he's going to take care of children, he's going to take care of a family. How many men here, sir, are you willing to pay for a child that is not yours from your wife?
No, sorry, it depends.
No. That
it
means
depends.
that you get married to her, and then by the time she delivers the first child, the child does not look like you, and you do DNA test, you find that it's not yours.
It's the end of the marriage. Right?
Are you willing to do that?
Yes or no? Yes or no?
It's not nothing.
It differs.
Even the
Let's be practical.
It's just be practical.
Let's be
Instead
practical.
of marriage, because if you have another child outside, you expect her to stay.
The decision is hard.
No, listen. Peace.
It depends on what.
It depends.
On what?
I have where I was going.
Okay, so your answer is it depends.
On
Well,
what?
he has said no. In your own case, if you are dating a particular guy now, you are dating the guy, and then the guy impregnates somebody. You have-
While I am in the
while you
relationship.
are dating, and you have several other people who are asking you out, and the guy now impregnates somebody, will you continue with him?
No.
And so that's the equivalent. The reason why you probably might not leave a marriage is because maybe you have called people together, they paid bad price, there's social pressure to stay. You. But for a man, it's a slap in his face that the first child that this woman is having from me does not belong to me.
Yeah.
In our culture generally, it's the slap in his face that you mean that while you are marrying me, you are sleeping with somebody else. Now, this is the problem. If somebody has had a habit in the past of sleeping with multiple people, okay, and you get to find out, the man has to make a decision that, am I willing to take that risk? It's a decision he has to make. And you can tell me that decision is not, it's hypocrisy, the girl should not get, we're not saying the girl should not get more. We're saying that the decision lies with that man. Is he going to continue? That's his decision. The same way it's your own decision. If you are with a guy, you are 6 months planning the wedding, and then the guy now has an accident here. Let's assume the guy is a footballer. He has an accident, his leg gets cut off. He can't play again.
They can't end.
And he cannot earn. Sorry that I'm using football as an example. Can be a footballer.
No. I want to
In that decision, you are 6 months in, and as he cannot earn again, you have other people who are asking you into a relationship. You can tell me I will go ahead with him, but I can bet it with you that your friends will tell you that you are lucky. You are lucky it happened there before you entered. That's what women will tell you.
Yeah.
So we are not castigating any sex. The show is just designed to equip people to make the right best kind of decisions. And so when we meet ladies on the show, we have had ladies who have come on the show. Some of them have not shown, but some of them have had history, maybe sexual history in which they've had they've recreational sex for money. Okay, and when I talk to them, one of the advice we tell them is this: is that if your guy knows about your history, he's going to change the way he's going to view you.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be faced with the decision, will I continue?
Or will you be an
Or will he stay?
That's what pussy is better. You just
Do you get? And if he knows and his family knows, let's assume he knows and he leaks into his family, I can bet you with you that his family would not accept. So those are the decisions. The same way also, you also probably will not accept if your sister comes to you and tells you that I'm dating a guy, he's hardworking, but he's unemployed. So let's not, so that we don't keep going on and on round. Have I addressed your concerns?
Yes.
Women will tell you, and men will tell you, don't worry, let's marry for love. Okay? It's love that matters. The only people who would say love matters here, the only men that say it's love that matters, you know what? Are usually broke men.
That's the truth.
Because basically the broke man is trying to
Broke and
use
lazy men.
his
Affection.
feeling, his affection to snatch the
cajole.
woman from a rich guy.
But it depends. Some girls are rich, so they don't mind.
Richard.
See,
Another thing I think
the thing
you
is,
should
There's
all
some
check
women that
out.
have money and they don't mind. They'll tell you that as long as you give them.
one thing about we women is that most women, they are not wired to take responsibilities. Like they'll just sit back and allow the guy to do it, or they split bills. So say me personally, me I cannot marry someone that does not have a job, even if I have a job. I cannot. I can't.
Outside the job, there's something called.
Are you willing to be
financial
the
responsibility?
I'm not willing because it's not easy.
And so they don't give people advice that you will not follow.
But what if he has a good job? The instance that he has a good job along the
They can't fire him, but at least he get
along the marriage.
They can't fire
He
him.
has
lost his
he lost his job. What will happen?
Okay, so let me address that issue now. We're talking about two separate things. Okay. On the issue of job fired, on the issue of a girl who had sex and regular sexual. Let me address. We're talking about two separate things. We're talking about patterns and one-off. Okay. If you have somebody, let's assume you're dating a girl, for instance, now. And then as you're dating the girl, maybe the ex comes around, for instance, and then they have sex. All right? Let's assume the ex comes around. Well, let's say the girl is, let me give it to her. Let me give it to the girl that the girl is a good girl. All right? She was posted to a faraway location. You guys were apart. And ex came around and they had sex. And it was one off. Okay, the girl comes back, she's crying, she's this, she's that, and everything. You're the only person who she has confided in. The decision, if you come to me with that kind of story and you ask me, should you continue or should you end it?
End.
I would tell you that, can she guarantee that this will not reoccur? Now, if she can guarantee that, that's your decision to make. But in the same situation, if you tell me that the girl went long distance, okay, and then long distance, I noticed she blocked me. Long distance, you are seeing you collected your friend's phone, checked her WhatsApp, and you started seeing pictures of her on sale. And then your friend booked her. And that person booked. And you now have several. So you have a pattern in which she's offering herself for sex. And I'll tell you that it's the habits. Because once people form those habits, even when they get with you, they may not stop. And are you willing to live every day that when her phone rings, you are like, they are controlling my wife to come and block them somewhere? If you are not ready to, then don't bother. In the case you gave an example, the example you just gave about the job, if somebody has had a habit of being unemployed and being unemployable, that's different from somebody who had a job and who is out of work for like 6 months.
Okay.
You get? Because also, the person who was fired from his job, you also want to ask himself, what kind of relationship has he built? Because if people are fired from their job and if you have a good rapport with people, you may get another job. You may not like the job you get. It may pay you 25% of your previous job, but you are working.
Yeah.
Do you understand me?
That's why I didn't. That was what I was going to. There's another thing that beats all this, which I tag as financial responsibility. You, as a guy, if I'm seeing as a lady, and I tell my sisters, a guy financial responsibility, you must know it. What my financial responsibility is, if this guy has $1 million, what and which way is he going to spend that 1 million?
Yeah, that's the same thing.
I had a parent. The parent built their house, their duplex, in 3 months before Buhari came on board and blocked the border. So when they blocked the border, the man said the money was making monthly was millions, and that what was not making monthly was never up to 300,000 again. And so you cannot know in that family. Why? There's something called financial responsibility. There are people that have $1 million and somebody that has 10 million. You see a $1 million man living well than a man that has 10 million. So the way and manner your partner go about the financial responsibility matters. It's not just about is he stable?
Currently.
Is he stable currently? Is he not? A guy can be stable currently. He's making 400,000 naira, and he's just spending the money. And he can pay my bills. He can do this. Let me go on. A day is coming that 400,000 is not coming. 50,000 is coming. How is he going to use that 50,000 reasonably to handle the family. So it's not just about what you are making. It's about the way and manner you can be responsible with that coming in.
Well, 50,000 naira safe in financial.
He says something about statement of account now to see how he spends, and I think that
You don't even need to know your account for that. You don't.
I would say this. I just use that as an example. Is that if you are dealing with anybody, and this applies not just to relationship, it applies generally when you are dealing with people. If you are dealing with people, okay, if you are dealing with people, you have to observe the habits they have formed over the years. Okay, because habits are difficult to break. You don't deceive yourself.
Yes.
Okay? People very rarely break their habits. If you are dating somebody and the person is like this kind of, like you, for example, now, you play football. You play football now, professionally. How many hours do you spend training on a day-to-day basis? Right now,
3 hours in the morning, 3 hours, 2 hours in the evening.
So you train for 5 hours every day. And you've been doing that for how many years?
Couple of years now.
Have you run in a marathon?
No.
Okay. But with the level of training that you have, you can play 90 minutes of football without gasping.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So if I want to select people who play football, and you ask me, how do I assess who will be a good football player? It's hard to tell who will be a great. But it's important for me, what are the habits this person has towards training? If you do not do, if I find that the person is eating a bar, wake up morning, eat a bar, eats at night, and the person does not spend up to 5 hours in training and tells me he's going to be a great footballer, I know he's deceiving himself. That is what we are saying. It applies to dealing. That's how you assess people. It's not, you have to look at the habits that they have formed, not what they have done in a single time. Do you understand me? So the point is this. This podcast is running because we have to figure out exactly what bothers people. Figure out, and you have to talk to people not the way, for example, in religious organizations, a lot of people feel that the heads of religious organizations or people who preach, they feel there's a lot of hypocrisy. Do you feel that way?
Yes.
No, be honest. You can speak
yes.
whatever. You have people when they hear, like people who lead religious organizations, sometimes they will tell you things that they themselves cannot do.
Yes.
Okay? But in this conversation, we're like saying, be honest. Do not lie to yourself. Do you understand? That's what we are talking about. And so that's why people's habits matter. We don't like to be assessed. What you are saying, I understand what you're saying. I've met quite a couple of people who have had, because of circumstances, they've had to raise money by sleeping with men. People who do hookup, they fall in 2 different categories, or rather 3. There are people who do hookup business, because they are trying to pay their school bills. Okay, and then they go to people and ask for help, and the person says that if I'm going to help you, money for hand. How many of you have gone to meet men and the men told you that if I have to help you out there, I must sample you?
Be frank.
Yes,
Be honest.
about this.
Yes.
Or maybe you have an issue in school, you're like saying, sir, I have a problem with my score. Maybe they give you a wrong score and then the lecturer says, you know what, for me to help you out, let me just
sample.
Yeah, you don't even have to have a problem.
So you don't even have to, they can even give you a problem so that they can sample you.
Yes.
Okay, so there are people who fall in that category. Okay? I've met such a person, and immediately the person graduated school. The person, do you understand? I know someone like that. There are people also who come from wealthy families who they are not into the lifestyle because they want money. But maybe they've been shielded, they've been protected, and then the person now busts free from parental whatever.
Wants to explore.
Do you get me? And there are people who do hookup business purely because of what?
They want to keep a lifestyle.
They want to keep a lifestyle and they want the money. Okay? So those are 3. So if you come to me right now, you're telling me, and so you come to me, you tell me you're dating a girl, for instance. I'm just saying, and you tell me that you've discovered this stuff and this stuff is cutting your heart and all that. I probably will ask you a couple of questions. Okay, what's the person's background and every single thing? And then I find out the person falls in the first category. Right? I'll probably tell you that if you are certain, but she has to give you evidence that she will not continue when you are married. You need to have that evidence. That means that you have somebody that she's accountable to. The person has been enrolled probably in a therapy or counseling session. Do you understand? The person probably has taken a hold phone number, her social media accounts, right? Throws the number away, gives you password of her social media accounts so that you can see. And then she's not going to have anything hidden. If you have that, you can trust her. But if you're talking about the third category of girl, okay, who is doing it professionally, it's extremely hard because she must want to leave. And if she does not want to leave, you can't save her. Why do you want to save her? You understand me? It's all of us here, we probably would have brothers and uncles. Does anybody have a brother or uncle who does not want to work?
Plenty.
People that you find, you get them
want
jobs.
To work at all.
You say money is coming.
No, I mean you help the person get a job. The person works for like a week or so and then leaves the job.
Say he cannot work. He cannot get a job. If he cannot get a job of 300, 350K above, he cannot work because he's a graduate. And he believes that money is coming.
And he's working, Abi.
He's not working.
Like
currently, he just wakes up, eats, and sleep.
And money is coming.
That guy. So that guy now, for example, if your friend wants to date him,
God forbid.
Now that's your response. So that is exactly you need to differentiate it. Unless he is willing to change and you can see evidence, there's nothing you can do. Don't waste. People very rarely. I didn't want to drag this on and on because we're going to just die because it's not.
Actually, thank you very much for being a part of the show.